So these are called IM4 by Fosse Audio, and it's an open back in-ear monitor. Fosse Audio is mainly into making DACs and amps, but this is the first IM from this company, so we are going to review it from a slightly more detailed perspective. The tagline they have used here is "Hear the Unheard," and it comes in this kind of a nice looking box. At the back they have printed plenty of specifications to go through, so you can slide out the IMs from the box somewhat like that. On the top you have some paperwork. So first of all, the color that I am having is silver orange, and it's called Galaxy, and this black color that you're looking at, it's called Obsidian. So this pamphlet shows clear instructions on how to set up everything. Then you have also been given one more user manual which you can go through. All that is definitely not needed. So inside the box you have your IMs and this carry case that comes in blue color. When you will open the carry case, you will first of all find this cable that comes in white color. It's really a good looking cable, and you have also been given plenty of ear tips in different shapes and sizes. I see most of the companies throwing these ear tips in plastic pouches, but here they have at least provided these molds to keep everything organized. And these ear tips are available in 3 different sound profiles: the bass, deep bass and balanced option. Also you have been given one extra pair of nozzle. We'll just get to that in a short while. And the quality of case is quite good. I really like companies who brand up their accessories very well, so this case is branded. And yeah, all this comes at a price point of $100. So from my point of view, I would say this is really a good packing. Now the most important term to discuss in this video is the word open back. So we'll discuss this when we discuss the audio section, and now let's begin with the design and build quality. So first of all, these IMs being first from the company, I was expecting the finish to be something very conventional, like being made out of resin or something that is metallic in finish, but here the finish they are going for is completely matte. So these shells are made from aluminum. They are going for this matte finish paint on the entire thing, and definitely this looks very classy and really very premium. And also they don't attract fingerprints. Like while filming this entire video, I don't have to clean it once, so they will remain like always very neat and clean. And also if you look at the Fosse Audio and the kind of products they are making and the kind of design language they are going for, so you will have the same kind of influence on these IMs as well. Also when it comes to the comfort and fitting, so yeah, the shape I would say is conventional, and it's neither too big nor too small. They just fit in very nicely, and I'm pairing these with the medium size ear tips. And also if you look at these shells, so they have put a lot of efforts to make everything very ergonomic. Like you will find these smooth curves all around. So yeah, I think they are going to universally fit to a lot of people. You won't be having any sort of problems as such. I also like these black colored nozzles and how it goes with the silver colored IMs. And if you talk about going with the obsidian color or the black one, so I just felt black orange would look very conventional, so I asked them to send the silver variant, and it looks really insane. Also if I talk about the cable, so it's really like, I really like this white colored cable. It's really very lightweight, looks premium. I'm not really a fan of cables that are thick and heavy, so this is just the right kind of cable I would choose to go for. Also there is no left and right marking on these connectors, so you will have to go around according to the color coding, like red is for the right and blue is for the left. And also this 3.5mm jack has this Fosse Audio branding. Everything looks really really of a good quality. Also if you talk about the length of the cable, and if you compare it with any other standard size cable, so I'm comparing this particular cable with this ear acoustic, so I realized that this cable is also slightly bigger compared to other standard size cables. Also if I talk about the technical specifications, so these IMs come with a 10mm dynamic driver inside with a beryllium coated diaphragm, and also the impedance value is 21 ohms, and the sensitivity is around 109. So you can say that these are really very low impedance IMs. You don't really need a DAC to power these properly, but just in case you want that richness in the audio, and in case you are having these kind of dongle DACs, like this one is from Audiocular, so it would do the job. Also Audiocular launched their one more DAC recently, which is this Audiocular Aura. So in case you are interested in getting these, so there is a 200 rupees discount code given in the description box. You can make use of that. And also I tested out these IMs with this Fosse Audio DS2. This DAC was sent to me by Fosse Audio long back, so you can go with any sort of these combinations depending on your budget. Now talking about the important term, what is this open back in-ear monitor? So first of all, if you talk about in the world of audio, so whether it's earphone, headphone or an IM, everything is closed back by default unless and until company specifies it. And this open back and closed back thing are actually more common in the world of headphones, where you have an open back headphones and you also have a closed back headphones. Now the thing is that in a closed back system or a default system, I would say the sound waves from the driver are always pushed towards your ear. But when you talk about an open back system, so sound waves get pushed inside your ear and also outside your ear. So there is also some amount of audio that is leaking from the faceplate towards the, like in the atmosphere. The advantage here is that the open back system gives you more natural way of experiencing music, because when we talk about how we live in and how the atmosphere and environment around us, so the sound is never directional. We are actually getting sound from different directions. So open back earphones, you can say, gives you a more natural listening experience. But when you talk about a closed back system, so everything is contained in the housing of the headphone or an earphone, so all the entire sound waves gets pushed towards your ear. And also the big difference or the big impact will come on the one and the only one parameter, which is bass. So you are going to get a better bass in a closed back system compared to the open back system. Now moving ahead with this theory, and just because the bass would be compromised, so by default I didn't tested these IEMs with, you can say, the bass and the balanced ear tips. I'm just going directly with the deep bass option. And also I didn't change the nozzle, because the black nozzles are the ones that would be very natural, and the brass nozzles or the golden ones would be the one that would be like very bright and crisp. So I'm normally going with towards a bassier sound signature. And now let's begin with the audio review. So initially when I started to test these out, I would say the overall experience was slightly different, because most of the sound I heard was in the backside of the ear rather than being heard at the center, and it took me a couple of days to get used to it. But after that, everything was very pleasing. So if you talk about the bass or the low frequencies, so if you compare it directly to any closed back IEM or a headphone, so they are going to give you a better bass experience rather than these. I would not say the bass on these is insufficient even with the deep bass ear tips, but it's just the way you experience bass, which comes very naturally to you. If you are a bass head, I would say you can like avoid getting these IEM4. Also, if you talk about the mid frequencies or the vocal region, like the frequency from 2 to 5000 kilohertz range, so male and female voices are onto the point. You're watching any movies, the dialogues and all, they just come very naturally to you, and everything feels like at a distance, because in a closed back system everything is being pushed in one direction, but here everything is like being pushed towards the ear, and also some sound is leaking out of the ear. I would not coming to the leaking part, I would say that if you talk about an open back headphone, so the leak is more prominent in those, but in this case the leak is not as much as I was expecting. So mostly, like if you are hearing anything on these IEMs, it's not that someone sitting beside you is also going to leak, I mean is going to completely hear what's happening in these IEMs. So male and female voices and the vocal region was too good. And also if I talk about the high frequencies, so there is enough details in the instruments, there is enough details and separation. You don't see any sort of steep spikes if you look at the graph, but the thing is the sounds of C's and S's and all that sharp sounds are absolutely not there. So overall listening experience is very fatigue free. And also if you're trying to increase the volume of these IEMs, it's not that any of the frequencies would get disturbed, everything would stay balanced, and that's the main like goal of these IEMs or these open back IEMs, to give you a very balanced, natural and a very precise sound. Now talking about who are going to actually buy these, so if you're someone who is first time going to buy an IEM, you can stay away from these. If you're also someone who is already having an IEM and you don't want any professional or a balanced IEM, then also you are not going to buy these. The right kind of people who should buy these are the ones who are into more professional related work, like if you are into any sort of audio editing, if you are into studio level work, all those kind of people should definitely get these IEM4. Also like for all these days after I got like these Ear Acoustics SPA limited edition, I was using these primarily for my audio editing work, and these are like $400+ rupees IEM, so it's actually 4 times the price of these. So if you look at it from this particular price point, and if you're looking for an IEM which is very professional, balanced, and you're looking for a studio level work, so this is really a good option compared to the SPA limited edition. So these are the kind of like target audience of these IEMs. Now my final words of conclusion, these IEMs are priced at around 8,000 rupees, plus I had to pay 3,000 rupees taxes and all, so the initial cost would be somewhere around 11,000 rupees. And at that price point you should be very clear if you want to get these or not. So I would highly recommend these IEMs for those pro users out there. I didn't talk about the gaming experience, so I was like doing some sort of casual gaming and everything came very naturally to me. The sound of the gunfire, the bomb explosion, and especially the direction and footsteps, everything was like very clear. But I would say that if you are more into like BGMI or these kind of games, so you should get the IEMs which are more detailed in the high frequency, so you can like get all those footsteps and all. So anyway, this was all about it. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care.